Hey everyone! Welcome to episode 7 of my No Man's Sky building tutorial series. Today I'm going to share some of the best tips and tricks that I use in my builds. These are all valuable techniques that can help take your build to the next level. We're going to start off with the resizing glitch, which is one of the most useful tricks for building complex and detailed bases. For resizing an unscalable object, we must first find a piece that can be resized normally. I like using the small box as it's easy to select. As the glitch can be tricky to get the button timing right, I like to place several boxes down at once, just in case I need them. Now, let's go and select the item we want to scale down. Now we need to press X and Y at the same time to glitch into wiring mode. This would be square and triangle if you're playing on PlayStation. Now we select the scaled box and press Y and right trigger, or triangle and right trigger, at the same time to glitch the game into placing our unscalable object. Let's just place that over there for now. The glitch works for scaling up objects too. Just make your box bigger instead of smaller. Just look at that massive fish tank. Keep in mind there's a sweet spot for any powered items where making them too big or too small won't allow you to attach wires. It will take some experimenting to find the right size that works. Now let's talk about widening our color palettes. Each set of items has their own select amount of colors to choose from, which can get pretty boring after a while. There's a hidden mechanic that allows the color palette of another object to be substituted for the default one in a set. All you need to do is open up an object with a different color selection and select the color you want swapped. Now go back to the piece that you want the color to apply to and place it. Here I've made a purple floor tile, which is normally not a color available in that set's default palette. I use this technique a lot to add matching wood coloring to pieces that tend to stand out against a timber building set. This technique can also be used on objects that don't even allow you to select a color normally. If you have the legacy pieces, you can also use this same technique to swap material palettes on the metal build set. Go ahead and find a building piece that has an option to select an alternative material. Here I selected the rust. And here is the rust texture on the metal build piece. And the stone texture. And lastly, the wooden texture. Now you've opened up a world of color choices for your builds. This one might be obvious to some, but it actually took me quite a while to realize that there are certain variants for the building pieces. I've seen quite a lot of posts on forums of people saying, well, I've built these wooden walls, but every time I build a second floor I just get these weird slats. How do I fix that? In the build menu, pieces that have variants are marked with 2 vertical yellow rectangles. Simply press Y, well, if you're on Xbox, to expand the menu to show all available variants. And just like that, no more ugly wooden walls! I'm a little embarrassed to admit, but I only discovered this after playing No Man's Sky for quite a while. It just goes to show that there's always something new to learn, and I'm always looking for new ways to improve my builds. And randomly, the crystallized drone also has 2 other variants, Living Fragment A and Living Fragment B. Now let's talk about the little white dot at the center of your screen, which is the placement cursor. Every building piece you place follows this little white dot, and being aware of where it lands on screen will help you place objects more accurately. You'll see with this shelf that I'm building that the only way I could get the piece to sit where I wanted was to put a temporary piece underneath so I can land that dot exactly where I needed it. Building complex objects with many pieces requires a degree of accuracy, and it is quite often necessary to build temporary pieces to help land the placement cursor where you need it. After all that hard work, I think this shelf turned out pretty good. Anytime I want to build something in No Man's Sky, I first look up images of that particular object. For example, here are a few images I used for reference when building Gloomy Manor, my latest build inspired by the Luigi's Mansion games. And here is a screenshot of my finished build. Here are a few more examples of objects I created using real-world reference pictures. I find the most effective way to create realistic objects in No Man's Sky is to always have a reference to their real-world counterparts. Wow, look at all the cool things you can build using these tips and techniques. I hope this inspires you to create something amazing in No Man's Sky. Thank you all for watching, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now!